If you were to seek a poster boy for the revolution in County Kildare, Michael Sammon was he. He was erect, if not tall, 5'9", a team player and a born leader. He was one half of the matchless midfield that had won the 19 All-Ireland Championship for Kildare alongside Larry Stanley. He was an outstanding sprinter, and he first made his name as an athlete. Even after he was known on the football field, he outpaced the national distance champion George McGann by 7 yards to win the 100 yards at Sallins in September 1921. And he was fearless. When he was an officer of the fledgling Sinn Féin movement
in Kilcullen,
he politely confirmed to the local RIC Sergeant Doran that he had organised a meeting in 1918 as a protest against the permit system. He addressed the meeting himself, reading the party manifesto to a group of about 10 people on the platform and 100 spectators after Mass one Sunday morning in 1918. He was arrested the following Tuesday and jailed for 2 months, causing him to miss a Kildare football championship match. This is as might be expected. For Michael was a blue blood revolutionary. He had an ancestor jailed for making pikes for Robert Emmet in 1803. And his grandfather, Morris, was suspected by the Clane Constabulary of the RIC of being a member of the IRB. He was also an accomplished referee. And on November the 21st, 1920, he was asked to take charge of a high-profile challenge match between Dublin and Tipperary. He did not know that this match, and what was to become known as Bloody Sunday, would seal his place in history. Michael Sammon grew up in Lochbollard, Clane, and he served his apprenticeship as a barman, or a grocer's assistant as it was known then, with W.T. Cosgrave's family pub, now Kenny's, at 174 James's Street, Dublin. W.T. Cosgrave's mother, Bridget, was from Landonstown, and lots of Kildare boys went up to the pub to serve their time. Then, as now, working hours in a bar was not conducive to training. So it was that when Michael moved from Cosgrave's to a hostelry in Townsend Street, a gate porter from Trinity College allowed him into the grounds to train incognito with Dublin players Mick Neville and Tommy Moore. He played for Hibernian Knights in Dublin, and then when he moved to Kilcullen in Kildare to work there, he led them to their unsuccessful 1917 county final appearance against Kilcock. That brought him to the notice of Kildare football selectors. And while he was in Kilcullen, Michael Sammon and Tom Doran formulated the Irish Volunteer Dispatch System that was to endure throughout the War of Independence, bringing messages from the South to Michael Collins. He was back in Clane in 1919 when he helped Kildare win their second All-Ireland. In the same month as Bloody Sunday, Michael acquired a leasehold of what is now known as the Pearl Bar at 73 Fleet Street, Dublin, in partnership with his old GAA friend, Paddy Moore. The Feathers, as it was then known, was venue for the monthly meeting of the Kerry Blue Society, and Michael was a familiar sight walking his Kerry Blue Terriers on O'Connell Street. He was also a coursing and greyhound enthusiast, and his family continued the tradition, his daughter a fated owner of coursing champion dogs, while his grandson, Barry Brogan, became a champion jockey associated with the Dickler and Baldoyle, and later a successful trainer in Kuala Lumpur. In the 1920s, Michael served on GAA committees to organise the Tailteann Games and explore the prospects of a new GAA athletics body. By then, he was back in Kildare, acquiring in 1928 the Railway Inn beside the bridge in Selbridge, where he was to spend the rest of his life. He played on with Celbridge into the 1930s and refereed as late as 1938. The bar later became known as Greg Allen's and then as McNamee's Abbey Lodge. There, he presided over conversations and long reminiscences into the night, to the chagrin of both of Mrs. Sammon and the local Gardaí, who called frequently to investigate the late-night Shanachas. The problem, Mr. Justice Redden sighed at Lucan Court in 1938, when he convicted him of yet another found-on offence, is that Mr. Sammon has too many friends. Like many revolutionaries, he was silent about the big events he had seen. All he ever said about Bloody Sunday was that he had crawled to safety when the shooting started. It was left to others to claim he was speaking to Michael Eoghan shortly before Eoghan was killed. He died in 1947 and was buried in the Abbey graveyard at Clane after a large funeral from Celbridge, attended by his GAA and revolutionary comrades, led by Jack Higgins and Sean O'Sheacháin. The referee's whistle from Bloody Sunday was presented to the GAA Museum a few years ago by Matthew Farrell. The football was bought by Tipperary hospitality entrepreneur Louis Fitzgerald, who has it on display in the Putcheen still in Rathcoole. Eoghan's jersey is in Clonmel Museum. One story goes that Tipperary were due to wear the blue and white jerseys of county champions feathered on Bloody Sunday. But as these were not in good condition, they opted for the white and green of Grange Mockler. An impressive blood-stained replica used in the Neil Jordan film Michael Collins is in the museum in Croke Park. 100 years after Bloody Sunday, a commemoration was held in Clane for this fearless and peerless referee.